Well, there's a friend of mine I knew a bit there. It was two wooden leg David. You know, he's got two wooden legs, and he built his own wooden legs himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he's good at building all little contraptions. And then he took a 30-30, I think it's a 30-30 rifle, and he cut the barrel real short, and he changed to hold the gun around, and he put a little brass rod about that far in front of the barrel, and he made a harpoon that just fit perfect into the barrel. And he take the 30-30 shell and pull the lead off, and he put wax in that.
You mean they took the bullet out?
Yeah, I took the bullet out, but not the shell with the powder, and then put wax in there. And you put that wax bullet back into the gun. And he had a short harpoon, the big harpoon with a hook on it, and he had a rope off of that harpoon end, and that would be like a long rope, and then he'd pour water on the ice, and then freeze that rope to the ice. And that gun's got 2 legs on it, and you push that into the snow, and then that long little brass rod would be just touching the surface of the water. So when the seal come up to get air, it hit that brass rod in the water, and then put the trigger.
The trigger.
Yeah, trigger fires the charge, which pushes the harpoon straight down into that hole, you know. And then the harpoon goes into the seal, and then of course the rope is frozen to the ice, so the seal just goes on and dies and hangs there, and he come back later on and pull up his rope, and he got himself a seal.
They grew that much, and you could taste it's like a sugar. These short little plants here. And their leaves are good for something like lettuce, good for eating with meat. This here is good for health. Most of the Inuit, when they gather them up and put a little oil on it and stay fresh all winter. These are one of the ice cellars. The sailors has built, I guess, to store away the caribou meat and fresh salmon or Arctic char. They would drive the whales to a very shallow place.
Right.
They ride in Kittigas with they make sure they make a circle over the deep channel side so they won't escape.
Right.
They would have a bunch of kayaks. When they go around them, they bang a little bit while they start going to shallow place.
Right.
Until they get stuck. They can't move anymore. Right there, they slaughter them.
Yeah.
They poke them with like them sharp-pointed things you got there. Harpoons? With a long handle.
Oh yeah.
Right.
They would know where to bleed it.
Right.
And these special constables are in Inuit. Ilanik, he's dead now. Vickers, McAndrews, 60, is dead. Gordon, he's alive. People had practice at shaman power too. Some of them were so strong that a person could disappear. The one just talking about with you, they had so much powers.
And then the wardens came down and said there's probably 2,000 or 3,000 caribou up on the flats. So we went up there and we stayed up probably 18 hours that night, chasing caribou all over the place around, like following the herd. Yeah, we were following the herd, and then we watched them cross the firth, and we were cheering for the little ones. We were like, come on, they caught an eddies and stuff. There was a couple that were collared that we saw that made it. And then the next day, more came through and more came through, and we went down a little bit further and hiked up this really great hike, and we could see down here on the flats. Oh, what do you think? I bet there was 80,000 in that herd. Probably.
That muskrat come around because there's lots of flowers here, and he liked when they just blossom out, they like to eat the leaves of it. This is a pretty big muskrat, see. All that hair will fell off around maybe September. Same with the wool with it. And the color will change to a dark brown.
Ishmael was a very kind and gentle man. He would share with you. His door was open. He had a very loving wife as well, Ruth. Both of them were extremely kind. They had come through a lot, just like all of our people did, from a transition from a traditional economy, being self-sufficient, living on the land, to a new modern wage economy where if you were lucky, then you could get a job. And if not, then it was very difficult. But what I found is that Ishmael was a very compassionate man, very, very compassionate man. He liked to share. He liked to tell stories. He loved to laugh. And I remember after the book was completed, and we were going to do the launch. Both of him and I traveled to Ottawa together. And at that point, he was in his late 70s, and I didn't realize that he'd never been to Ottawa before. This was his first trip. So when we got there, he looked around, he saw all these big buildings and all the different things, and he was just casual and gentle about it. But he told me, he said, the book is done now, and now people are going to understand better about our people. They're going to understand that we're just like them. We want the same things as they. We want shelter, we want food, we want a good job. We want our children to be happy and to have meaningful opportunities in their life. That's what he told me.
There was once an old man that came out of the night, and he told